Lesson 7-5, Subtract Fractions. By the end of today's lesson, you will be able to subtract fractions with unlike denominators. Make sure you have your pencil and paper ready so you can write down notes and follow along with me. To subtract fractions, first find the LCD of the fractions, then rename each fraction as an equivalent fraction with the LCD as the denominator, then subtract, then express in simplest form. So in the example 1/2 minus 1/10, we need to get the common denominator. So I check, and 2 does go into 10 evenly, so 10 is going to stay being my the common denominator. So I just need to get this 2 to equal 10. So 2 times 5 equals 10. So 1 times 5 equals 5. So now I have 5/10 minus 1/10, and that 5 minus 1 equals 4/10. But those are both even numbers, so I can divide them both by 2 in order to get them into simplest form. So divided by 2, and that would equal 4 divided by 2 equals 2, 10 divided by 2 equals 5. So 2/5 would be the answer for that problem. So let's try another one. 3/4 minus 5/8. So I look, and again, my 4 goes into 8 evenly, so I'll only need to change this one. 8 will be our common denominator. So this one, to equal 8, I need to multiply that by 2. 4 times 2 gave me 8, so 3 times 2 equals 6. This one stays the same. I'm subtracting 5/8. So now all that's left is to subtract. 6 minus 5 equals 1. Bring down my denominator. 1/8 would be the answer for that one. Okay, go ahead and try 5/6 minus 1/2 on your own, and then come back and check your work. Okay, so for this one, I look, and I know 2 goes into 6 evenly, so I don't have to change this one. 6 will be my common denominator. So minus, and I'm going to make this a 6. 2 times 3 equals 6, so I multiply the top by 3 also. 1 times 3 equals 3. So now I subtract. 5 minus 3 equals 2/6. That's not in simplest form. I can divide them each by 2. So 2 divided by 2, 6 divided by 2. 2 divided by 2 equals 1. 6 divided by 2 is 3. So the final answer for that would be 1/3. So go ahead and work on problems 1 through 14, and then come back and watch the next part of the video. You can use related sentences to solve equations with fractions. So you can use related addition or subtraction sentences to find missing fractions in some equations. So if you have n plus 1/5 equals 4/5, well, we know that the related subtraction sentence, or maybe you learned it as fact families, it would be n equals 4/5 minus 1/5. So then you just need to subtract. 4 minus 1 equals 3 over 5, so n equals 3/5. Another example would be if we have a minus 1/3 equals 5/9. So if we use the related addition sentence, we would say a equals 5/9 plus 1/3. So a equals, we would have to come up with a common denominator here. So 3 I know goes into 9, so let's just change that one. So times 3 and times 3. 3 times 1 is 3. So we have 5 plus 3 equals 8/9. So that's another way that you can find the equations when you're working with fractions. Okay, so why don't you try n plus 1/8 equals 7/8 using a related sentence to find this missing fraction. Pause the video and then come back and check your work. Okay, so the related sentence would be n equals 7/8 minus 1/8. So then n equals 7 minus 1 is 6/8. I need to reduce that. I'm going to divide them both by 2. So 6 divided by 2 equals 3, and 8 divided by 2 equals 4. So n would equal 3/4. Okay, so why don't you try now y minus 1/6 equals 1/6. Pause the video and come back and check to see how you did. Okay, for my related sentence, I would make it y equals 1/6 plus 1/6. Then when I add those up, y equals 2/6. Then I need to reduce those. I'm going to divide them both by 2. So 2 divided by 2 equals 1, and 6 divided by 2 equals 3. So y equals 1/3. Is that what you came up with too? All right. Go ahead and rewatch any part of this video or look over your notes before finishing up today's lesson, problems 15 through 29.